Hi, friend.
You've been missing.
Because I finally finished the tandem read. Sorry, I went back to work.
And
I
you
don't know
went back
how
to
I'm
work.
gonna finish Kingdom of Ash because that's what it's called.
Kingdom
Yes,
of Ash, yeah.
because
That's the next
that's a
one.
big baby. Like she's like thick.
That's a big book,
But
girl.
yeah, because it took me about a month to finish these two.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it was a struggle because it was a tandem read, so I would forget to go back and forth.
So how did you what did you think of the tandem read?
Dingo that distracted me. I at first it was easy to go back and forth, but then when the story started moving, I would forget. And I wouldn't forget for a long period of time. Like I might if I was supposed to switch at let's say chapter 15, I might have read to 17 and be like, oh crap, and then move back to the other one. It wasn't hard to move back and forth. And if I only had to switch, I know there was one part where like Empire Storms, I think you read one chapter of Empire Storms and then read like 3 of Tower of Dawn, and then you had like 20 Empire Storms. I just read the 3 I wouldn't go back and forth. It was just one like a chapter. I didn't do that. I would read 3 or 4 and then read 3 or 4.
Me either. So I, based on the bookmark that you sent me, that's what I did. It's like I did like a bulk read. Like okay, like they have a big Empire of Storm things coming up, so I'm going to read all the way through to the end of the Empire of Storms chunk, and then I'm going to catch up with Tower of Dawn.
That's what I would do.
But I thought that was
because when it was just like one chapter, especially when some of the chapters were like only like 3 pages, I'm like, I did not lug this book around for 3 pages because I was taking my books to work and stuff and trying to read on my break and this and that. So I was like, I'm not
that's
taking both books around. I was like, let me get to a good part to where I can take this to work and then not be a thing.
Yeah. They're doing work, so like if you look out the window, you'll see.
Well, I thought I heard like a.
Actually, let me.
What are they doing? I don't think you can hear.
No, your lighting is fine. I was just like, with the lighting from that, I was hoping it wasn't going to be too hard.
My lighting is fine.
Your lighting is good.
Okay. What have you been doing? I haven't seen you in forever.
So all I do is read and go to work. I told you my boss, he like got injured, so he's not coming to the office anymore because like he can't walk. He's going to physical therapy and stuff.
So now you really don't have to work.
Well, I have to work, but it's just like being present is questionable.
Yeah, because you can just be here and work from home and read.
I can do the same thing.
Yeah. I wish I could do that, but you cannot teach.
No, teaching remotely seems like a very
it defeats the purpose, especially at elementary level. As high school, I think you get away with it because it's kind of like online courses in college. But elementary level, like I can't teach you to read over Zoom. It just doesn't work. But I am off on the 25th for fall holiday. I might be able to knock out a bunch of Kingdom of Ash that day.
The 25th of this month?
Yeah, because it's
what
fall.
Is that, a Friday?
It's a Monday, not this Monday, next Monday. It's fall holiday, and I plan on reading for most of that day.
Good. What are you reading right now?
I just read Ice Planet Barbarians number 7. I'm trying. I want to read
Ice Planet Barbarians is a good.
It's a good palate cleanser too when you've been reading I feel like. But let me tell you about Kindle real quick. Okay, I have my phone because I was going to show you this.
Oh no.
So when I'm on, because I've been reading Ice Planet Barbarians on the Kindle. So, you get recommendations for books, and I got recommended this book called Titan. And it is a gargoyle daddy dom romance.
The gargoyle.
Yeah.
So
the statues.
Yeah.
But I was like,
who's the author? Because I feel like I've read
Jillian. It looks like, hold on, it keeps going away. It looks like that.
Oh, okay.
Did you read that?
No, but it has been recommended to me too. I haven't read
So I thought it was going to be stupid, right?
Was it awesome?
I only read the first chapter because I was like, let me give the first chapter, right? It's not stupid. It's stupid, but it's not stupid because he's made of stone, right? Because he's like.
Did you ever watch? There was this.
There used to be a cartoon.
Yes!
Okay, so that's why I feel kind of nostalgia. I'm like, what the hell? And then it reminds me of, but he also he has 4 brothers, and I think one of them has the personality of. Remember, is it Hercules? Where there's. Or no, the Hunchback. Remember the 3
one of them's a little messed up.
No, remember the Gargoyles and the Hunchback.
Gargoyles and Hunchback. Okay.
So they have that goofy vibe too. So just somebody just had a field day, but it's not bad. There's actually some story to it. There's witches and he's supposed to protect the artifact or relic thing.
Yeah.
And that came back. Somehow it's back in New York City. And he feels that it's around him and his brothers because they can feel this artifact because they're sworn to protect it. And the girl is also searching for it, and so they're both searching the black market for it. But I don't know what she is yet. She's some kind of. She's not a human. I don't think she is. Yeah. So I'm not there yet. And then they're all trying to like, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna fall in love with her. Well, they're gonna do it. Yeah.
Nice. With a statue.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I was cracking up because like obviously it's in modern times. So he's like, this stupid phone, I can't push the buttons with my gargoyle fingers because they're too big. And I'm like, first world problems. Like, what's wrong with you? So, but yeah, I only read the first chapter. But yeah.
That's what you're reading right now.
Yes, because I'm waiting to start Kingdom of Ash. But then you have to remember, Cassandra Swordcatcher's finally coming out. October. I'm finally going to get it because I never got the dang arc.
I'm sorry.
I tried too. I tried to buy it like off of like, they wanted like $250. I was like, no, just wait. And then I don't know how many special editions I bought though, because I would just buy them.
You just like saw it.
So I don't know if I have 2 or 3 coming.
So I feel like
they're all different. I don't know that much. I have the one you told me about, and then I think I have the Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, okay.
And I think I want to have the West.
Is this YA or adult?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I just like to set Clare things. Mm-hmm. And then after that in October, I have to finish that in October because November is Iron Flame.
Yeah.
So
did you pre-order that?
Yes. I pre-ordered that before you finished the first book. I was like, I need this now.
You gotta wait.
And now I gotta wait for it to get here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't seen any of the arcs for Iron Flame go out yet, but I know like a lot of the book talkers and stuff. Like, probably within the next month, you're just start seeing those boxes come out.
Yeah, and we're not gonna be one of them.
No, I did try that too. Are you in Neck Alley?
Yes, you told me about it. Okay. But I don't think we're gonna get anything.
So,
I did get an arc, but it was a digital one, and it was
through Neck Alley, everything's pretty much digital.
I did one, but I did it through TikTok. Her name was like BCF John. She writes like fairies and all that, but it's adults.
Okay.
And I got it. I haven't read it, but I got it like last week, but I haven't read it yet.
Well, so the whole thing with Neck Alley is like getting a good like
review.
Like ratings, like so like or not. I guess you get like a reviewer rating, like so whenever you check a book out, you get a good rating if you like actually return a review, whether or not the review is good or bad. And that's how they kind of determine.
Yeah, she sent it, and she sent it to a bunch of people that were like, because she's very up and coming. I think she might now maybe have 1,000 or 2,000 followers on TikTok. Okay. So she gave us like her first like 1,000 followers that wanted it. You just had to send a thing. So I got one, and I haven't read it yet. I'm sorry.
So I think I have 6 active arcs with Neck Alley right now.
Okay, we'll boost it so we can get the good ones. Like,
well, so like I've posted a couple of them, but like I didn't.
I saw you post that you were reading some, but I didn't know.
There's like one of the most recent ones I posted. Like I didn't like that much, so it's like I'm not like advertising because I don't want to like put out like a media
because
review.
That really hurts the indie authors too. When they get a bad, they don't because they don't get a lot of media as it is, and if the little media they get is bad, it's like they feel bad.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like Neck Alley, but and I'm reading, like actively reading a bunch of books.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how you read more than one book at a time. I wouldn't be able to keep up. I know I wouldn't be able to keep up.
So I read on all the formats I told you. So it's like if I'm at work, I'm listening to an audiobook. If I'm at home.
But they don't like cross in your mind. I'd be like, wait, what happened?
No, I mean, they're pretty different.
Oh, maybe that's why. You're not reading like 3 romance books. And you're like, who's that? Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I guess they're like romance could be a subplot for all of them, I guess. Because it's like romantasy or what have you, but I mean the themes are all different.
I can only read one book at a time because I get so like
as long as like the characters' names don't have like same names. Or something.
I get so like involved that I can't read more than one because I'm just like.
I saw this one thing that somebody was like, even if you're reading multiple books at a time, you're not reading more books, and I was like, shut up, yes I am.
Yes, you are reading more books.
No, but it's like the theory is basically that like even though you're reading a book, the amount of time that you're taking to read the book is the same, and then when you finish the book, it's the same. So it's like you're not finishing more books, you're just reading a lot of different. Like it's you're not reading more than you think you are.
You're reading faster.
No, I'm a really slow reader.
Really?
Yeah. But I just I just read a lot. So it's like, it only takes me 2 days to finish a book because that's literally all I do for 2 days.
Yeah, whereas me, it'll take me like a month or 2. Unless I'm really into it. But like the I Spy My Birds, I can knock those out in like an afternoon.
It's like 200 pages.
Yeah.
And again, it's a good time.
It is.
Merch coming soon.
They are kind of like starting to be like, okay, I need something different. But that's why I like the one with the deaf girl because I was like, that was different.
Well, so like that's why I read them kind of sporadically. Like I can't like read a bunch of them back
No,
to
I
back to
couldn't read them
back.
back to back. Like I read one and then the next one.
I am loving, and I've kind of switched over to this series, and they're a little bit longer too. In the same vein, the first book is called Choosing Theo, and it's like the Clickanian or something. I forget like the name of the planet stories.
Do they have spurs?
They don't have spurs.
But there's like 24 Ice Planet Barbarians, and then there's like
there's
Ice. But then there's like Ice Home,
yeah,
which is like the girls who actually get abducted and like are taken to wherever they were gonna go, and they fall in love with whomever, and I'm just like,
so this new series, I'm telling you, I think you'd like it. It's fun.
I have to watch it. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna read it.
Choosing Theo, also on KU.
I haven't read a good mafia romance in a minute though.
Ooh, well, you know, it's.
I read a good motorcycle romance one not too long ago, but it was kind of weird at the same time. I think the last random like good romance book I read was like Credence. I think.
Oh,
that was like it was good, but it was a little weird.
Well.
I still haven't read. Somebody romance, gifted
like,
me.
Do you want a romance book, or are you looking for dark romance?
Dark romance. So I do have Hunting Adeline. I still haven't started it, Adeline, because I'm like I know that's one of those like books. So I have.
So there's Haunting and Hunting.
I have the first one. Somebody gave it to me, like
Haunting
gifted it me from TikTok. It just showed up at my door one day.
That's like a stalker.
Yeah, but I have. It's the like cutesy romance. I never finished Icebreaker. I could not finish it.
So they're coming out with a new one.
But I have the like it's like with a witch on the front. It's a yellow book and it's a witch. And it's like dating a witch, but it's like modern. It's a cutesy like how to hex your demon. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're like. How to date a demon that you've hexed or something. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I have that one. It's sitting.
So one of my favorites. That's like in the witchy kind of genre. That's always nice to read this time of year. Is Go Hex Yourself.
I think that's the one I have.
Go Hex Yourself.
Is it green?
Blue.
Bluish green. There's a book I have, and I'll have to take pictures when I get home. But there's two. And
wait, maybe that's the second one. I have one of them here.
Find it. Hold on. Find it.
Time out.
Sorry.
We've gotten off topic.
As usual, we have this thick thing to get through.
It's Go Hex Yourself.
Yes, I have it, but there's a yellow one too.
That's the sequel to this one.
So then I need to buy that one because I don't have that one.
This one's the first one.
No, I have a green book. It's green, I tell you.
Okay, I know what book you're talking about, but it's on my Libby profile, and I'm supposed to get it like in the next 2 weeks, and I'm gonna read that one too. But this one I like because it's like a Reylo retelling.
Who?
Kylo Ren and Rey.
Oh, it is.
So this is Ben, and then this is.
That's cute. Which book?
Go Hex Yourself.
No, it's yellow, and it's got the little girl on the front.
You're looking it up.
Yeah, but what the hex?
Yes, that's the second one.
Okay, so I think I have What the Hex, but there's another one. It's a yellow book, and it's got the girl and the guy on the front, and it's kind of like the same theme, but it's yellow.
How to Date Your Demon.
Yes, whatever. This one right here. I
know which one you're talking about.
It just went away. It's this book right here.
Witch's Guide to
Dating a Demon. Yeah. That's the one I was going to read next. But I'm saving them for October.
It's just reading now.
What we need to do spooky books.
Oh yeah, we do need to do spooky books. So Go Hex Yourself is a good one. It has like a witchy theme. I have some other recommendations for you though if you're interested.
I need spooky books, but not spooky like ooh, I'm gonna get scared. I want like a
romance, like witchy. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
I know you got me because you know what I do. I go to your Goodreads and I'm just looking at everything you've read and be like, want to read. I literally do that. Okay, so here we are with this nonsense. It's thick. Okay. How is the notes just as thick as the books?
It's not that thick. It's just like it's just like something to kind of
keep us on track. Because I would randomly just text you nonsense.
Yes, there's a lot of nonsense. There's these books. A lot of stuff happened. The thing that was really annoying to me though, it's like I was trying to keep up with your pace for
and then you got ahead of me.
And then I just kind of was like I was in a bit of a reading slump. because this other book that I was reading,
Did you reread Kingdom of Ash already?
Okay,
so we're gonna read that together.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll make up a normal schedule for us. Not like, oh, let's read 100 pages a day. Like, we need to do like.
Is 100 pages a week doable? Because then that's like 8 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, this is just a little over 800 pages. So it's like.
Why is it so big?
Why? Well, reasons.
How about this? We pick a day that we need to be done with page 400.
Well, that's normally what I do. So it's like, by the end of this week, be up to chapter, which is approximately 125 pages.
Okay.
I can make a schedule, but you'd have to actually
Okay.
I need to know what you're capable of. Like, how many pages do you normally read a night?
I don't read every day. Like, I will go 2 days without reading and then read 200 pages and then maybe read 10, then maybe read 20 and then read none for 4 days and then read 100. I have no schedule. It's when I get there.
But if I design a schedule, I'm just trying to think like what your schedule would allow for.
I'm going to try to read on the weekends.
Like, is 200 pages a week?
That's too much.
Okay.
Maybe 100. That's a lot of 150 pages a week. Just say by this day you need to have, like, in 2 weeks we need to have half the book done. Oh, that's a lot to have half the book done in 2 weeks. Because that's 200 pages a week.
I'm trying. Like, look, I could do this book in a week. But
when does Swordcatcher come out?
I think mid-October.
So we have to have it done by mid-October, because when Swordcatcher comes out,
that's 4 weeks. That's 200 pages a week. Is that what you're committing to?
It's so much book. It's a thick bitch. I didn't realize how thick it was until I pulled it out.
She's thick.
I didn't realize how thick it was until I pulled it out. I just said that. Okay. Anyways, we did the tandem.
This video is like child friendly. Anyways, it's fine.
We did the tandem read. It took me longer. I started before you.
Yes.
And it took me longer because I had to go back to work, and working as a teacher took up too much time. And I went back to school.
I liked the tandem read just because there was like certain events, specifically in Tower of Dawn, that happened that whenever I read the book like a month apart. Because you read them separately. Yeah. Okay, originally, whenever I first read them, they were like a month apart. So it was like when Kale, for example, was finding out that Rifthold had been sacked, whenever you do the tandem read, it almost happens like simultaneous. Yeah. Whereas like if you read the entire thing of Empire Storms and then you get to Tower of Dawn, it's like, oh, by the way, Rifthold go back. It's like you're going all the way back to like 6 months ago. And it's just like, I like the tandem read for those purposes. And I really felt like, the switching back and forth between like a chapter here and there, not entirely necessary. But reading the bulks of the chapters I thought was helpful. Again, so that you like the timelines really did.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah. I will say I liked both books. I really did I thought I was going to hate Tower of Dawn because, I can't stand Kale. But I kind of like him a little bit now, but I feel like I'm going to hate him again. But because I think I like Irene, that's why. Yeah. I think if he didn't have Irene, I wouldn't like him.
Irene makes him a little bit more palatable, but it's still like his character is still.
It's so just, I just want to choke him out.
Well, again, I think he was sitting at the table with the Kagans, kids at one point, and they're sitting there talking about, the war that's coming. They know it's coming, and they're like, is this Aelin Galathynius even somebody that we want to fight with? And Kale didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything because he doesn't even know.
And it's just like, no, but that's the whole point. He knows who this person is. They had a relationship. He's really it's his own prejudice getting in his way, thinking that she's just some
random. And I can't wait. And the thing is, with everything that's gone on, I can't wait to see what he thinks of Dorian now, because Dorian is a totally different person now, and he's getting it on with the witch.
I love Manon.
Yeah. So my thing is what is he gonna do now with that?
If I'm Dorian, I'm pissed that my 2 BFFs got married and didn't even invite me both times.
I know.
Both times.
But
it's just I don't know. Again with Kale, he goes back to the only reason why he's able to forgive or get past anything that Aelin has done is because of what she did for somebody else.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with that's what's changing his point of view.
Yeah, she didn't do anything to him.
Frustrating for me.
Yeah, he's just so traumatic for no reason. But you know what? He's hopefully Irene could whip him into shape or something.
I mean, she tried her hardest.
Yeah, I mean, well, he can walk now because of her. So
Mm-hmm.
dumb bitch. He's a dumb bitch.
So you
Okay.
did the tandem read. You didn't really stick with it,
I
but
didn't stick with it, like you said. The ones where it was like read chapter and then switch chapter, switch. I wasn't doing that, but I
mm-hmm.
would read probably 5 or 6 at a time and switch. I did like that at the time because if I had to read them separately, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much because
Mm-hmm.
having to go all the way back and be like, well, did it? Well, they don't know that yet. You have to remember, like that's the hardest part too, is like keeping up with who knows what and when.
Yeah.
Is what was kind of hard because it was like, well, why didn't like, oh, because she didn't know, oh, because they didn't know, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like when Rolf, whatever he's like, he didn't realize that was Aelin. He just knew that as Selena.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, hello, oh, well, wait, he doesn't know that yet. You know what I mean? So it was, that's the only thing that when there's a lot of characters,
mm-hmm.
you have to pay attention, remember, like, who knows what. It's almost like when Game of Thrones happened. You got to remember who do what and when. Because then you're like, well, why would you do that? That's stupid. And then you're like, oh, well, because you don't know.
Yeah. It's also like super condensed. Like the books
Yeah.
are a little bit more.
Yeah.
And there's even more characters in the book.
Yeah. But
so when we started
which are we talking about first?
Empire Storm.
Okay, we're talking about,
so when we started it at the end of Queen of Shadows, Aelin had done what she needed to do in Rifthold. She is on her way to Terrasen with her court, and she has instilled Dorian as king in Otterlin.
Even though she doesn't treat him as king, but yeah.
Well, in this situation, she did at the very beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, she did.
They're all tight, cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's ruling his city. He's the king.
That's right, because he's there when we start. He's not with her yet. He's in.
Right.
He's in Otterlin still. Yeah.
Right. So that's where Queen of Shadows kind of leaves off, and then when we start Empire of Storms, we don't actually start with our core group, our court. We actually do a flashback, and that's whenever we see Elena and Brennan fighting Erwin for the first time.
And they're losing. Bad.
Yeah. And then that's whenever Elena comes up with her idea, and this is what's going to save the day, and that's all we know.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah, that's all we know, which we're just like,
right.
Yeah.
So then we get back into the story. We're back with Aelin, and then she's on her way to Terrasen where she meets her uncle Darrow.
Who's a jerk, but he's acting king, right?
He's acting
king, and he kind of is just like, what? And like, I don't care that you're alive. Where have you been? I don't think you're gonna just come in.
I think. Yeah. Well, he knew about her past. Whenever he saw like that, she was the.
Yeah, but he was just like, so now you just want me to hand this all over to you, and it's not gonna happen, kind of.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't either.
I think he was horrific to her.
He was, but I understand why he was like, what he did was bad, but
no, I didn't understand it.
I did, because he didn't want this 18-year-old out of nowhere to be like, oh, I'm queen, hand everything you've done all this time. Yeah, but
like everything that he was holding over her head was out of her control. She was 10 whenever she was like taken into the Assassin's Keep.
But did he know she was with the Assassin's Keep that whole time?
She knew that she was an assassin, yeah.
But did he, like, I'm saying when she was 10, did he know she existed? So, like, could he have gone and got her is what I'm saying.
Well, she was under an alias, so, like...
He couldn't have gone and gotten her.
I know, but again, it's not something that I think that should be held against her when all she was trying to do was survive.
Well, yeah, at that age. But when she got older, she could have...
she is a freshly 18-year-old.
Go back. Her and Sam.
She was doing what she had to do. It's like if she had shown up...
But did she know that... That's what I was saying. Did she know that Aiden was her cousin?
Yeah.
Right away? Yeah. Like when she was 18, she always knew that was her cousin?
Yeah.
Hanging out? And even though, when she was an assassin, did she know that Aiden was her cousin?
Yes.
And she never went and found him? Like, never was like, hey, it's me.
Well, it's not like they were, like, hanging out together. He was, like, off doing war things.
No, I said they never really crossed. But she knew he was alive out in the world.
Yes.
He didn't know she was alive.
He didn't know.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
No, but then that's part of the reason why he felt so guilty. It was like
because she was right there, yeah.
Time
and then that's when he also they both felt guilty for Elide too, because they didn't know Elide was locked in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I've been there with the Bane all this time, and I didn't know she was just like right there. Could have saved her.
Yeah,
didn't know. See what happens when people don't know things.
Well, people are
Team Elide, by the way. Team Elide.
I love her.
Okay, let's go back because then I'm distracted.
Sorry.
Okay, so
terrible.
Okay, so Darrow shows up being a jerk.
Darrow is a jerk. I don't think it was warranted. Again, like he was holding things against her that were out of her control. It's like she was 10. She spent 10 years of her life trying to
live,
just survive, and like that was the other thing. Like think about the trauma that would have that you would have
And
to
she was a
undergo.
whole
Like
assassin.
she saw like her
mother died.
Elite's mother
Mom
was
died.
murdered
Yeah.
in front of her. She had to run for her life. She almost died whenever she fell in a river. She was brought back to life, which we find out later.
Yeah.
And then was taken into an assassin's keep where she was then beaten and trained for the next 10
and
years
then she went to the slave place and then had to go into that.
Yeah.
The
So I don't think Darrow's
thing.
like his attitude towards her is justified at all.
He's just power hungry too. He wants to be king.
I mean, they mentioned like he's enjoying his time playing king.
King, yeah. And he turned all the other courts against her, right? Like all the other territories. So that way they were able to vote her out as queen, right? Is that how he kind of solidified himself as king?
He basically said that it would take a vote from everybody to instill her in this position of power, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and then Lysandra's vote didn't count because he's like, "Where does that?"
That's not a thing.
Yeah, but Perth. Okay, I'm gonna get off topic. Perth is where it leads from. Is she the queen? She's not queen or king,
she's
but
like lady.
But she's like the head person of that area, right? So like her vote would count, right?
Yeah, but they don't know that she's alive. Well, actually, I guess technically not, because the land would go to her
uncle, whoever that is.
Yeah.
But once he's gone, she's the...
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I think he kept her locked up, is because
if she's alive,
he could rule the territory or what have you.
Poor lead with her little foot.
Yeah, that was fucked up from the shackles.
Yeah, from the shackles. Poor thing. Okay, back. See, this is what happens. Okay.
That's why you got no...
Okay, we're at bullet number 5 of 75.
We don't have to go through them like this.
Aelin leaves this meeting but receives word... Oh, the Iron Teeth are going to Rithold.
Yeah, so after she talks to Darrow, and Darrow is horrific to her. I didn't hate that character.
He's going to die eventually. We already know.
Painfully.
He has to.
So she's like, okay, we got to go get allies, and then they get word that the Wyverns are flying to Rifthold to sack the city.
That's Manon, because Manon's still... So is it all the witches go?
Yeah.
All 3 covens.
Everybody with the Wyverns
fly their happy butts to Rifthold to take it from Dorian.
To sack the city and kill the king, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were going to do. So that's whenever they split up for the first time. So Rowan has to go rescue Dorian
because he's the one
wind power.
Yeah, because he's the one who get there fast enough as since he flies.
Yeah, so he's got to go save Dorian, and
Manon actually gets to him. Well, Aelin and Lysandra and Adian, right? Yeah. It's just them 3 for now.
Mm-hmm.
They go to... Where do they go? Where did they go? I can't remember the names of the places. You did it right.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, they go to Skulls Bay. Well, they're on their way to Skulls Bay.
They're on their way to Skulls
Bay.
Because they
blow up that...
It
doesn't say.
Yes,
it just says Aelin goes to Skulls Bay.
I'll wait till you find it.
No, wait.
Aelin, Adian, Lysandra are at...
Where? I don't see that part.
Jillian.
Where? Whatever. Where are they?
It's right after the frowny face.
All the way down here.
Right after the frowny face.
Iliums. They gotta kill the temple. That's what I know.
These are just bullet points about what happened.
I know, but you don't need to go on it. Okay, so but they go to the temple because that's where Brandon, which is
the temple of Brandon.
Yeah, and they want to take. She wants to take it back because.
Well, this is all a part of her making moves.
Yeah,
like she's making a show of things.
Yeah, she's like blowing up things. But Elkin shows up when they're there with the temple. Brandon, the prince, doesn't he show up? Who shows up? A bad guy shows up when they're at the temple. Why are you looking at me that way? I told you I wasn't gonna remember everything. These are long books, right?
So
a vlog. That's what it is. A vlog shows up.
Yes, one of the Vogue princes. I think Erwin actually possesses them, or she talks to Erwin through this Vogue prince, and she destroys him pretty quickly. And then takes back the temple, and this is like a big show of power. This is a big deal because because now when they take the city back, it's a show to Darrow that she can shut up.
And then that's when they realize that they have to go find the stones.
Yeah. So the main thing that we get from her visit to the Temple of Brandon is that Brandon tells her, "You need to go get the lock The lock is in the stone marshes, and then that's what sets her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is her new path that
right.
she's being set on. So
but a lead has the key.
Lead has one of the keys.
Right, and then she has to go find the lock. Right.
A lead is actually going to go find Aelin.
No, I'm talking about Selena. A lead has the key, but Selena has and Aelin has to go find the lock in the stone marshes so that you can put them together.
Well,
in theory.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm remembering now, y'all. I swear I read the books. I promise. It's just so much has happened.
A lot did happen.
Okay, so Rowan goes to save Dorian. Yes. But then Manon's already saved him. Manon.
Yeah. So Rowan, he flew I think 2 days or whatever without food or water, as fast as he freaking could to get to Rifthold. He's all the way up on the border of Terrasen. And whenever he gets there, Dorian is already he's already killed some witches. He's fighting some more. Manon shows up with Abraxos and saves Dorian.
Right. Even from though the she's Yellow not Legs. Supposed to.
Yeah, it was.
But she does.
Yeah.
So and then they blame it. Right.
So she basically turns Dorian over to Rowan's get out of here, and then she takes off with the idea that she has a plan. She's gonna be well, I killed the Yellow Legs because Dorian was my kill, and because she got in the way, I couldn't get the kill, and that's why he escaped.
Right.
Which leads the Witch Council to basically say, Manon, you made some mistakes, and you're gonna pay for this mistake by
killing your number 2, which is Astrid, who her backstory is horrible to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's when they do all that, and then
heartbroken.
We're all heartbroken because we think Astrid's gonna leave, and that's when I got mad because then you have to wait 200 chapters, a gazillion pages to find out if Astrid's gonna die or not.
I kept waiting for you to hit the point where it's just you couldn't put the book down because it was there's after we get notice that she's gonna have to kill her second, and then she tells them to it's the day of, Astrid's brought in, she's beaten to hell. This is the day of her execution. Manon has to be the one to take do out it,
and then all hell breaks the sentence. Loose.
And then she tells her sisters to run, and then turns the sword on her grandmother.
And they start.
I was expecting you to be like that was your turning to point where you could not put down the book until at least you got to part 2.
No,
but that never happened. And I was
I would just text you, and I'd be oh, so this bitch is a Kraken witch now. I think she's a Kraken witch.
Yeah, and that was the big reveal.
That was a big reveal. That was crazy.
I was you find out that she had actually killed her half sister in the previous book. Yeah,
she's been killing all her people because she didn't know.
Well, she didn't know, but that chick specifically to say is her half sister.
Yeah,
she was a princess or whatever.
Yeah, and I was just really, she'd be killing everybody. I was bro,
it's very sad.
And then the 13 heard about all this, but at the same time they're trying to get away. And then you didn't know if Manon was gonna live, and I'm
but then that was the other thing. It was we don't know, Manon risked her life. She's been mortally injured.
Yeah, her in my mind, her insides are falling out.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But she did all this with the hope that her crew got away, and she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
She still didn't know until they finally show up
at the very end. And how is that not heartbreaking? You didn't have the right emotions
because it was so much going on. I was just that's why. It was a lot. I would text you updates and questions. I had a lot of questions. That's why.
So we find out that she's a Kraken Queen. That's a huge reveal.
Yeah, I know. So then she's a Kraken Queen. We're oh, yes.
Yeah, so she fights her grandmother. Her grandmother's still alive.
Which means she's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and then so she escapes with the help of one of the 13.
And then the twins. Weren't they the twins that helped her?
Yeah.
And then so the 12 go one way and her and Abraxas are another way.
Well, they're having to, yeah.
I did the twins and her when they kind of were dipping and diving trying to get rid of the other ones that are falling. I was this reminds me of some Star Wars shit where they're shoo shoo shoo. Yeah. And I was just oh, I
going through and Abraxas is small enough that
he can get through the small space. I was okay, Abraxas, with your badass.
But mind you, while he's doing all this, Manon is pulling her intestines and bleeding out. So then she eventually gets over to a place to rest. She's been passed out in and out of consciousness for a couple days. Abraxas is basically protecting her, and then she's been hunted down by a bloodhound, which is another one of those evil like little monsters that they made,
which ends up showing up in the boat. Sorry, we're not there yet, but that's the same one that showed up in the boat.
But what I loved about that was that then she narrowly escapes getting killed again while she's super weak, and she tells Abraxos, "Take me somewhere safe."
And he takes her to Dorian.
And then what annoyed me is that you weren't immediately like ears pricked whenever she showed up for Dorian, because I was like, how is this not amazing to you? This is amazing.
I was just like, oh, they're with Dorian. And it took me a minute to
Abraxos is immediately like, Dorian is safe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop you off with Dorian.
But how did he know what Dorian was? That's the part that I was.
Because he's Abraxos.
He was just like sniffing him out. But it's like he goes and brings back the 12. Like he's like, that made me sad when she had to shoo him away.
Well, you know why?
Because he's big.
Well, it's not, but also it's like for his protection.
Yeah, so. For his protection. But that made me so sad. She was like, just go away, just for a little bit.
I understand though, like if you're like, you have to separate from your animals, I'd be like, no.
You know what it reminded me of, and you're gonna hate that I say this. It reminded me of Game of Thrones when Arya had to shoo her wolf away so it wouldn't die. Remember?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. She was like, just go away. And you're just like,
she threw a rock at him.
Yeah.
That was unacceptable.
But she was trying to save him. That's what it reminded me of. Yeah. I cried at that moment. I was like, poor Abraxos has to go away. And even though I knew it was for a couple of days, I was like, what if he doesn't come back? What if he gets lost?
In what reality would that have happened, though?
I don't know.
It's Abraxos.
Beast. I don't know. And then he brought back the crew. I was like, go on, your bad self.
Then they all reunite.
That was loving.
And then they help with the Armada attack.
Yes. Okay, so Manon gets away. And then Abraxos takes care of her. The Bloodhound hunts her down. Dorian is now back with everybody, though, right? So that way we know Dorian. They're all on a boat going to...
So Dorian and Rowan meet, like as was planned, Dorian and Rowan meet up with Aelin,
in Skulls Bay.
And everybody in Skulls Bay, where they find Fenris and Gabriel.
Ah, yes.
And Fenris and Gabriel are looking for Lorcan so they can him based on Maeve's orders.
But no, leave Lorcan alone. I like Lorcan until the fucking end. But why is all the people I like end up something bad happening? They stop liking people. I was like, I love Lorcan, and now I'm like, nope, never mind.
It's what happens whenever you read Sarah J. Maas.
So then, but my favorite battle, the whole thing, was Lysandra being the sea dragon.
Yes, so Lysandra was a
sea dragon.
Badass.
I know.
Badass. What did you think of the whole Deanna thing?
Aelin being stupid.
No, so I mean, I think anybody could have made that mistake.
Yeah, anybody could make that mistake, but of course it happened to her.
Yeah.
Of course that happened to her when she didn't need it to happen to her.
She blew up the boat. Ended up in the water. Fenris had to save her.
Like, of course. And then and so Fenris could pause and then be in another spot is what we learned.
Yes.
Like Ardania. She could pause time. So he can pause time and move.
No, it's more I guess teleporting.
Oh, that's not good.
So it's like you could be here and then just go over into that room.
So he teleports. He doesn't just move fast.
Sort of. Yeah.
What a nerd. He's the one that's a twin, though, right? He's the one I feel bad for.
Fenris is a twin.
That's the one I feel bad for.
Yeah, and his twin is in a relationship of sorts with Maeve.
Yeah.
He's I guess he's
her boy. We'll just say
toy,
yeah, whatever. Okay, so they're all on the boat. She blows up the boat on accident because those things are coming. The Vlad and all those people. No, not the Vlad.
Well, she doesn't blow up the boat because of the Vlad. She blows up the boat because of Deanna. Yeah. And Rowan stepped in the way of her almost blowing up the entire city of Skulls Bay.
Yeah.
And then that's going to cause issues, of course, later because the only person that's allowed to sacrifice themselves for the greater good is Aelin.
Yeah.
So Rowan stepping in front of her while she was about to blow up the city really upsets Aelin.
Yeah, she's so she's
such a martyr.
I know. There's times where I like her. There's times I'm just I just want to smack you because you're so frustrating.
Well, it's that. I mean, I guess.
But I have to remember that she's 19. She's still at that
Well, that was your point. You were on Adian's side being mad at Aelin, and I was like,
yeah,
keep reading.
Team Adian. I love Adian, but he did Lysandra wrong, and now he's on my nerves.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't appreciate that either.
I mean, I get it, but I don't. He took it too far.
Yeah.
That's
I would say he took it too far.
Your anger's in the right place. But okay, let's go back. Hold on, because we're jumping all over the place. What did we say? Oh, Ellie. Okay, so they're on the boat. Deanna comes and checks in the blows it up. Lysandra has the epic battle as the sea dragon.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking tore that shit up. I loved it. Everybody else is on the beach because they couldn't do anything because they wasted all their power.
Yeah.
And she's just like, rah, blowing everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Adian shoots the thing. And then I love that he stayed with her until she turned.
And then proposed a little bit.
Yeah.
What a sap.
He was just in his feels because his daddy came back, didn't know what to do.
Oh, man, Adian was so annoying though. Like he was like mad at Aelin, mad at Gabriel, not getting along with everybody except for Lysandra. Like he's mad at Rowan and then like then he proposes to Lysandra. I'm like, dude, you need to
because he's just in his feels.
He's like early 20s. Your frontal lobe is not fully developed.
But I mean, he's just like all over the place with his emotions.
I know.
Nothing you can do about that.
Calm down.
He does.
Start with that.
Yeah. And just breathe. But I think a lot of this, like them all, the whole group just arguing and like being in their feels because they're not communicating. If everybody could just sit down and communicate.
But you realize why in the end she didn't tell them what she was doing, right?
Yes, I understand because she knew what the end game was. But can we just communicate?
No, but she had a very serious fear of failure. She was working on getting her allies. Adian like yelled at her about this. Like she's very emotional about all these things. Like, where are their allies? Where are our allies? And she's working on it behind the scenes. But like if they didn't come through, if they didn't show up, she didn't want that on her shoulders. As like,
they didn't want to count on it. What is it?
She didn't want to fail her court. And I think that's very, like, not admirable, but, like, I understand where she's coming from.
I understand where everybody's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, stop it. Like, I understand everybody's point of view, but at the same time, I'm like, stop it. I mean, this is the book. You're all on different pages. Get on the same one, or else we're not gonna figure this out.
And then the pregnancy scare.
Oh my god, them, they're so stupid.
Well, like Rowan again, like to your point, not communicating, but it's just like
talk. People.
He was like, "Is she pregnant?"
And it's like, no. Wait, let's go back to my girl lead.
You were like hooping and hollering, screaming, crying that they needed to do it already, and they do.
Yeah, they finally do it, but I don't need them to do a one time and we're having a baby, Edward and Bella from Twilight.
Why does everything go back to Twilight for you?
I don't need them to just do it once and then boom, have a baby. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for babies in this world right now. Because the one child there was is shipped off to I don't know where. She's living with who? The Bakers? The people, like with Nezrin's people?
Yeah.
See? Shipped her off. Her and the dog.
Well, they gotta stay safe.
I know.
Did you want her to be on the boat that Aelin blew up?
There's too much to be watching. I don't have time to be watching babies right now. I don't have time babies to watch in real life. Okay, back to what I was doing. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, we did this. Okay, we haven't talked about Elite and Lorcan. I love me some Elite.
That's definitely like a slow burn.
I love Elite. I've always liked her because there's something, but in my mind, she was like a kid, but I realize she's older than that.
Yeah.
But I like her because she's got some fight in her. Like, she don't let nothing hold her down, not even the bum leg.
Yeah.
And she's very resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like her. Even in the woods, and she like tricked the, what were those things?
Oaken?
Yeah, she tricked them into thinking like, I'm looking for her too. Like, what the hell?
Where'd she go?
Yeah, y'all about to be in trouble because y'all in trouble because we all looking for the same bitch. And they're like, huh? And then she's like, Yeah, that was a good one. I was like, this little girl here.
Yeah.
Don't trick them. And Lorcan does
what Lorcan does.
And then they faked being so husband and wife.
They had to
join the circus, pretty much.
Like
they pretty much joined the circus.
They had to go get a troupe of theater people.
Yeah.
So that they could cross a bridge.
Yeah, because he's going to be the sword person.
Then immediately got betrayed by those people.
Well, I would trade them in too for some money. If I didn't know who they were, I would have.
Wow. They're obviously running for their lives. I wouldn't have.
I would have. Like, you going to give me millions? Take them.
Not for these bad guys.
I would have. I would have traded them in.
No.
I'm a jerk.
What is that, like lawless evil or something?
Yeah, back in the day. Because the thing is, like,
No,
if you,
lawful evil, whereas I'm lawful good.
yeah. If this was,
Like
yeah,
I'm not working with the bad people,
I would.
with the literal like people who smell like sulfur and brimstone.
I would have been
Pass.
like, "What do you want with a little girl? How much?" Because she meant nothing to them. That's why. If she was like, I would have done it if I knew her and knew what she was doing. It's different.
You don't help people that need help.
If I know they actually need it.
They did. They were obviously running from the law.
Was it obvious to them though?
Yes.
Was it? Oh, okay. I still would have traded them in.
Terrible.
I would have.
Terrible.
Yeah, I would have. Okay, so anyways.
Yeah, so they join the troop.
Then they almost get kidnapped. Because she almost gets thrown in that box or whatever. No. Yeah, because her uncle shows up.
That's the second time though. Like so they're with the troop. They get betrayed. They have to
leave.
While they're like they were at the inn or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go somewhere else. And then the town that they're in alert them, like I guess they were up and down like
they get alerted.
The river, and then said like, oh no, the people that you're looking for are here. So then she goes into an inn down the road from where they were at,
but she's separate from Lorcan because she's mad at him because they're not together.
Yeah, no, like he went to go like get supplies, and then she went to go get like clothes,
feminine hygiene. Yeah, remember something about her needing stuff for her period. And then that's when she's almost taken. But she knows that if she don't put up a fight, because Lorcan taught her, like, if you get moved to a second spot, you're done for. Stay in the one spot.
She was going to kill herself.
Yeah.
And then Lorcan was like,
no, stop it. I need you.
Like, he's like, I had the killing blow on this jackass. And then you try to kill yourself, so I had to stop you first.
Yeah.
And then he got away. Then I had to kill these two fools.
Yeah.
And she breaks her nose or something.
Yeah. And then where do they go from there? Oh, that's when he decides to take her to. He tells her that Aelin and Selena are the same person, and then he decides he's gonna
accompany her to the Stone Marshes instead of going their separate ways. Like she was mad because like he took a boat and then killed the boat captain. And he was like, and she was like, you shouldn't have done that. I guess it's like same argument we're just having. Like I'm lawful good, and you're whereas I would have been like,
we're gonna have to kill him. Like
he was like, no, this just needs to happen. She's like, no, there's like a way around this.
And I'm the same way. I would have killed him too. Like, if it was between me and you, it's you. In that situation. I am Lorcan. You are a lead. Ew. Talk about personalities, not actual people.
Yeah, no, but then he makes the decision that, like, after he saves her, that, like, he's going to accompany her to the Stone Marshes.
Because he's falling for her, essentially, too.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, and I made you a promise I was going to keep you safe. I will not leave you, and, like, all these, like, really sweet moments. And I'm like,
and then
he's gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
And then they get to the Stone Marshes, kiss, and then
they
get interrupted.
Yeah.
From doing
that's when I cried.
You cried?
When
they didn't get to do it?
No, when
you would.
when Aelin finally meets her and she does the whole speech of like when she tells the lead what the last thing her mama said, and Adian's like, oh, it's you, blah blah blah. And then like I think everybody starts walking away, and then she's kind of standing there with Lorcan, and Rowan's looking at her like, I need to talk to him to get out, like, go. And she can't take a hint. And then Adian and Aelin are looking at her like, come on, you're part of the family now. And she's like, and then they go, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yes, it's a whole thing.
What are you talking about?
Because right after they all meet. And
yeah, when Gabriel and Fenris attack Lorcan and she like
breaks her arm or whatever.
Well, he bites her.
He bites her or whatever. So then after they're all talking and Adian and Aelin tell her like, oh, you're gonna be part of my court, blah 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 blah. And then they all start going, I guess, back to the boat. Like Manon. Oh, then she sees Manon and she's like, ah, and they're all happy, right?
Yeah.
Then everybody starts going back towards the boat, but Rowan kind of stays behind because he wants to talk to Lorcan about everything that's going on. And the lead does not want to leave Lorcan's side.
Yeah, because he just got attacked by two people.
Right, but then as everybody's walking ahead, Adian and Aelin look at the lead like, come on, like, you're part of our family now. And she's like very like, oh my god, and then she goes with them. You don't remember?
That made you cry?
Because she finally has like a good family that's going to take care of her.
That made you cry?
I was crying the whole time.
Ridiculous.
I love the lead. I was like, she finally has a family that's going to take care of her.
Look who's taking care of her.
Yeah, she got to make out with that thing. She did. But then she got her arm bit.
Trying
good
to
job
save
for
him.
Rowan being like, they're under the protection of the court, so leave them alone. I was like, good job, Rowan.
They found a way around Maeve's orders.
He's really good at loopholes.
Well, I
he's
mean,
like the loophole
he had 500 years to have to deal with it.
Yeah, he did. Loophole king.
Loophole king, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
then she gives her the key. Elite gives Aelin the key, tells her everything that happened with Caltaine.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. Have the key now. Cool, right?
Yeah.
And Lorcan's kind of like, bitch, you had the key the whole time. And Aelin's like, well, why didn't you steal it from her? Is that what he said? She said something. He was like, it wasn't for mine to take. And I was like, oh, yeah. Now you want to be noble. Girl, boy, if you didn't have the hots for her, you would have slit her neck, her throat, and taken that. But you had the hots for her. If not, yeah, he would have taken it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, bruh.
Full of excuses.
He is. He just likes her. That's all it is. Okay, so then after that, Stone Marshes. They all get on the... No, they don't get on the boat. What do they do now?
When does
the mirror come in?
They retrieve the chest.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, there's nothing in here except for a mirror. We know from previous books like that the mirrors have power. Manon basically confirms it. So they cart the mirror in the chest all the way back to the boat.
That's right.
And that's whenever we get to the shore and we see all the flags of the ships.
Oh, yeah, that she
Lorcan panics.
Yeah.
Which we don't know at this point, but Lorcan panics.
Yeah.
And then we come to find out that the armada that's there at the coastline is
fucking Ansel's. That's what I was like. I hate Ansel so much. And then that's what because there are several times you're like, why did you read through? Because I closed the book, threw it, and walked away because I was mad. I was like, really, fucking Ansel's back.
But
I knew she was gonna come back. It was a good thing. Yeah, but I was just like, she's back. So she comes back.
Yes.
And she brings everything, but she and Manon are at each other's throats.
Yes, because they're both laying claim to the waste.
To the waste, which Manon believes that belongs to the witches.
Yes.
And Ansel says it's theirs.
She's like,
so they make a compromise, don't they? Like where Aelin tells them, like, you have to give the south part to the witches.
Yeah, I think it's the western.
Or whatever. She has to give part to the witches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens.
Like, everybody, we're going to work together.
But then, again, Lorcan panicked, and we doesn't know till later that he panicked. And when he panicked, he sent out a signal to Maeve, of all people.
Mm-hmm. To protect Elide.
Yeah. No.
I know.
No.
I know.
Why?
Because.
He's stupid. And that's when Elide fucking hates him now.
At the end, yeah. When she finds out that the reason why Maeve knew their exact location was because Lorcan signaled her.
Yeah. They'll get back together eventually. They'll get over it. She's gonna get over it. She has to. She has to get over it because that's gonna be her boo.
Or
I want to know. Okay, so this is the only thing that kind of annoys me about these books so far.
What?
All the couples are gonna end up happily ever after. I already know that. Like, there's nobody. I don't think I'm sure. Just put it out there. I'm sure Manon and Dorian are gonna survive. And I don't know what they're going to do, but they're both going to survive this book. Aelin's going to survive, even though it don't look like it. Somehow she's going to survive. Rowan's going to survive. Adian will survive. Lysandra will survive. Nesrin, Sardak will survive. Irene, and Kale will survive. Like, I think all the major couples will survive. The Expendables, people who I think no, let's do this later. We'll talk about this later about people I think who are gonna die, and then we'll see at the end of the book if I'm right. But I already know, like, all the couples are gonna live happily ever after. They're gonna go their own ways to their little cities and be like, oh, all is well in the world. I need some major deaths, and not like third character people dying. Like I need like I know it sounds morbid, but I need like Dorian to die, like a big character to die. Don't you think? Does a big character die? Blink,
dude. I don't think I'll ever emotionally recover from the damage that Kingdom of Ash has done to me. It is trauma from beginning to end.
I kind of feel, and I've been very good at not doing sport. Anytime anything SJ Maas shows up on TikTok or anything, or even like you even warned me before you posted it, I scroll. So I go in blind on purpose. So these are my predictions. But I do feel some people are going to die. Some people are going to live. Let's just continue and then I'll go off. But where are we at? Okay, so he sends out the power thingy.
And we're at least on page 2.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're past Battle of Skulls Bay.
No, we're down here.
No, we're
Sandra's a badass. Got the proposal.
That's the Skulls Bay.
Rowan talks about the army's aliens assembled.
We're like right about there.
Bitch Ansel. There we go. Okay, yeah, so we found out aliens are bisexual. That was like cool. I sent it to you. I was like, he's a bisexual. Okay, get it. And then I don't remember.
I forget how that came up.
They want to start a new relationship, and she's scared about her past.
Oh, so they just decided to be
friends. Then he was like, no, it's going to be fine. I don't really care about your past. Because I've been with a lot of... First. He's like, because I've been with a lot of people, too. Both boys and girls. And you're like, excuse me? And then you reread that. And I'm like, oh, he likes it all. Go on with your bad self, Aiden. We don't judge. Okay. Ansel says it's Maeve, not Erewhon, who has been setting the fires.
Okay, so let's make sure that we're doing this within context, which you're not doing. So after this is like the night before everything kind of
pops off.
Like mayhem ensues. So keep in mind. So they've gotten back to the coast. They have the mirror. Lorcan has a panic attack. Then
that's the best way to explain it. Because he sees the boats coming.
Yes, and then it's okay. So it's Ansel. So basically, everybody gets on a boat and they're having a conversation. They're all in their separate corners. So a couple things happen all at once. So Alita and Lorcan have like a cute little moment where they're like sleeping underneath the boat with all the sailors and stuff, like where they're like, we should hang out more, and they're like, yeah, we should hang out more even after all of this is done. So they're making plans, and then Lysandra and Adian are on the top of the boat and they're making plans. They're like, Adian's like, let's get together, and Lysandra's like, pump the brakes, let's be friends first. Because keep in mind, Lysandra knows something that Adian doesn't at this point.
Yeah, oh, that's right. See what happens when people know things you're not supposed to know.
And then Dorian and Manon have a moment.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
finally they get it on.
And remember, Braxis is still not there. Rowan and Aileen have a night together.
That's not when they got married, though, right? Is that the night they got married?
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
So they have their night together, their last night together, yes. They do get married at this point.
And then...
I think that's all
that all happens the night before Maeve shows up.
Before Maeve shows up. And then when Maeve shows up, basically all hell breaks loose. So what happens is...
I'm glad you remember all the details.
So what happens is, basically, Aelin and Manon... Or Aelin goes to Manon and gets with Dorian and says, get me to this mirror. We need to open this mirror. We're going to figure out So Manon and Aileen hold hands, go through the mirror, and then they're in another dimension, essentially. And this is the information that Brandon and Pusher get.
Right.
And this is where we find out from the flashback at the very beginning of the book what actually happened.
Yeah, because everything's screwed.
Yeah. So this is when we find out that they cut a deal. They actually just put him to sleep. They didn't defeat him, and they let everybody think that they defeated him. But that Elena and her husband. So this is whenever that Elena
which is Dorian's descendant of.
Well, this is both of their descendants.
Like, yeah, but that's
all the way up. Okay. So like Dorian and Aelin are both descendants of the same line. So these are both of their great parents. Anyways, so Elena and Gavin didn't actually defeat Erewhon. They put him to sleep. This is where we find that out. And rightfully so, she's hella pissed about it.
Yeah, I would have been pissed too.
Like, and she
again
talks to Elena at some point and says, finds out that Elena is the one that saved her from the river that night, brought her back to life, and Elena's punishment for doing so and interfering was that after Aelin dies, her soul is banished, so she doesn't get to go onto like the plane.
Elena's soul is banished.
Elena's soul is banished, and this is also where we get confirmation that because of the deal that they struck to put Erewhon to sleep, that Aelin or somebody in her line, so it could have been Dorian, I guess, but it was
has to sacrifice himself.
Aelin was the one that got the fire. So they are a sacrifice. They have to die in order to put Erewhon away, and that's where we
learned that, right?
Yeah. So when they get kicked out of the mirror,
they're back with Maeve, and
they end up with like next to Maeve. So Maeve basically immediately from being in the mirror, it drained Aileen's power,
right?
So she immediately attacks Maeve. She probably would have beaten her if she wasn't already like depleted on her power, but Maeve ends up overpowering her. Elite's like, fucking help her,
right?
Manon, and
Manon's like,
Maeve says, if you don't interfere, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
At this point,
back at the shore, they're fighting the boats but Rowan flies off because he realized that those are his cousins.
Yeah. So so a lot of the cousins that are part of the Whitehorn line are also a part of
Maeve's Armada.
So like while they're in the mirror, and Aiden again is being very annoying, is mad like, where's Aileen?
Yeah.
Rowan decides to fly to all the ships and begs them essentially like
to stay with me.
Fight with me, which they do. They turn on their own Armada and start fighting on their own Armada, and that is when the 13 show up too.
Yes,
and they go in and they help with the battle. So they're
and Lysandra's being a sea dragon, doing her thing, blocking out the ships that Rowan told. He's like, attack these first because they're at the front. This will happen because he's like a general, so he knows. And freaking Aiden's just like sitting there with the stick up his butt. He doesn't know what to do. He's just being dramatic. I'm like, you're a general, but you're not acting very general-like. Yes. But what I don't remember is Elide. How did Elide? She goes. Lorcan tells Rowan, put her on the shore, and I'll help you. So as a way to keep her safe.
Yes.
But she ends up being near Maeve anyway.
Yes. Ends up getting captured by Maeve and Karen.
Yeah. Oh, that's the torturous one. Yes. That's the one that nobody wants to mess with.
Yes.
And then Manon, somehow Aelin slips the key and the stones to Manon.
Yeah,
and that's why she really doesn't interfere too.
Yes.
Because she doesn't want those to get.
Yeah. So she grabs a lead. She
she books
and
it.
And then she disappears. Basically, she's hiding in the grass, like watching everything that's happening. Because this point of view is from a lead's standpoint in the books when she's getting whipped.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She gets whipped.
Yes. So and this is also the big reveal. Yeah. So she gets basically, I think she gets she put into a team
like an X or whatever. Yeah. And then is whipped. And then she
refuses the count.
And then makes it worse. And then that's when we realize that Maeve is. We realize everything that Maeve knows now. Like Maeve knew everything.
So this is when Maeve does a couple pretty evil reveals. The first one is basically saying that
oh yes. Oh, sorry.
So
wait. Yes. I can't.
You need to face the camera. Hello.
Hi. Yes. Okay, this is when Maeve.
This is why I didn't want papers.
This is why we need a teleprompter. We need microphones first.
Can we?
Okay. Wait, no, this is when Maeve reveals everything. And the main one that pissed me off, and I told you that they were mates. And you were like, no, maybe.
You get one mate.
And you're like, they only get one.
You get one.
And I was like, no. But then the other one wasn't really his mate. And you were like, no, but it was. That girl wasn't his mate. It was Aelin the whole time.
I didn't want to spoil anything for you. You got to find out these things. It's a canon event. You have to figure it out.
So we find out that Maeve tricked Rowan. It's that the other girl was his mate, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
killed
her and the baby.
As a way to control.
To make him go and be blood oath to her.
Yes.
Because she knew that Aelin was really going to be his mate. She knows that Aelin's going to, what's it called when you settle. And
so this is like some of the more heartbreaking things. So it's like she said, you would have had 1,000 years with him.
Yeah.
Your children would have been really powerful and beautiful. And it's like you're about 5 years away from settling. And
yeah.
You ain't gonna get none of that.
So she knew that she had to get her before then. And then, what else did she reveal? That's the main thing she reveals, right? Oh, but she knew everything. But no, who is she? She's related to the people. Hold on.
No, we don't find that out in this book. We find that out in Tower of Dawn.
That Maeve's related to Erewhon and all that?
That she's a Vold queen, yeah.
Yeah, that was the other book?
Yeah. The Karen Queer are the ones who tell us.
That's right.
See, since it happened like in tandem, the big reveals are just won't stop.
And then
for
she's
Maeve.
badly. Yeah, that's right. She is badly mangled. Like she's not just like, oh, a little bit. Like she's
So she was supposed to
destroyed.
get like 10 lashes, but she was supposed to count. She refused to count, so she got
Like 30 million. I don't know how
like
many
I
were.
think over 30. I think it was between 30 and 50
It
if
was
I remember
entirely
correctly.
too many.
I don't remember the exact amount, but yeah, and it was
She's like mangled because she can't heal because
so
it's
and then that messed up all the tattoos.
yeah,
And not to mention like the lashings are like really traumatic for her
her
because of her
because of
being an
everything.
Endover.
Yeah, and then
Maeve's fleet was also like lighting fires up down the coast on their way to
everyone
Elway
and
to like
blaming
touch
it
the
on
Ark and blaming
her.
it on
Yeah,
her.
and then Rowan. No, she gets put in the iron
She
box,
gets put in an iron box, still bleeding.
and that's the last
Her
we.
clothes are left on, so there's blood everywhere. It's a
Yeah,
very traumatic scene. Elite is being held back by Manon and shut up because like they're like watching all this happen.
yeah, and then and Elite's like
panicking.
trying, and then Elite's like, "Why don't you help?" And Manon, I think she might have helped, but at the same time, I think she's like, "It's better if I don't because
They had to get the keys out
and they
of
get the
there.
key and the stone out of there." And she goes, "And then I'm gonna end up dying, and then nobody's gonna know where she is." Right? And then but Fenris and Gabriel, are they there?
Yeah.
They're there.
So Fenris, Gabriel, and Lorcan are all there.
Yeah.
And then
right. They're all there because she summoned them all back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the battle happens, and then she's in the iron box. And that's pretty much all we see left of her, right? She's in the iron box. That's how the book ends.
Well, so
for her,
they know that Rowan and their team are coming, so they decide to get out of there before they actually show up. But at this point, Maeve confronts Lorcan about his.
Oh, that's right. She's gonna cut
so
all their ties.
She dishonors him, like cuts the blood out. Does it for Gabriel too, and like since Gabriel is very much about honor,
it hurts him a lot.
By it. Lorcan, in his own way, is devastated by it.
But she doesn't do Fenris, right? Fenris, she keeps
Fenris because she's sadistic like that.
Yeah,
she knows that Fenris wants the bond broken.
And so she doesn't care
about being dishonoring.
Yeah, so she does. And plus, she has the brother anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Fenris, Karen,
the iron box that has Aelin and Maeve leave.
Yeah, they get on a boat, they head out.
Yeah.
And then right after they leave, essentially,
Rowan shows up and he's like, "Where's my wife?" And everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
And that's when they find out that they got married.
Yeah, but
and Rowan didn't know about the mate thing at this point either.
And then doesn't it lead like spilled beans about everything? Yeah. And now they're gonna go. Rowan's going to go now. When we start the next book, Rowan's going to go look for Aelin. Obviously, he's hoping that Fenris is leaving
breadcrumbs or like a trail so that he can help
find.
Yeah,
because Fenris doesn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. And then, where's everybody else going? That's where I forget. Where everybody else is going.
So, Dorian and the witches are
because the 13's back.
Yeah, so Dorian, the 13,
they're going back to
Manon, they get on the Wyverns. Dorian now has the keys because he's the only other person that can wield them other than
he has the key and the locks, right? Okay.
So they get on the ship. They're Wyverns, and they're going to go find the Kraken witches so that they can help fight in the war.
Right. That's gonna be interesting.
With his
he's mad. We got to go back to why he's mad.
Right, so this is when we figure out why Lysandra was kind of apprehensive about being like, let's start a relationship, is because when they had the pregnancy scare and she was freaking out and crying, it was because she found out that she was destined to die and didn't talk to Rowan about it. So as a contingency, they got married so that Terrasen would have a king, and Lysandra was going to play Aelin. She would
shift into Aelin
to help lead the armies, and then
to keep up appearances. In other words,
yes. And then because she knew that she was going to die, basically, in order to keep the Galathinius line going, she was going to
have Aiden and Lysandra have babies.
Yeah, so they would have the eyes.
Yeah, because that's how it would be anyway, right? Like if say everything was the same and Aelin lives, but if Aelin and Rowan never had kids, they would automatically go to whoever Aiden had kids with anyway, right?
I don't know how the line of succession works for him specifically. Like, I think it might have gone to Darrow.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's like acting king, the uncle.
Oh, okay, so that's why. So, say this plan works and like Lysandra and Aiden had kids, would the kid be raised by Rowan and fake Aelin?
Yeah, that was the plan. And that's why he was mad.
Yeah, because
he was basically going to be used like as a stud horse.
Yeah.
Wasn't told about it.
Yeah, but Rowan knew.
Rowan didn't know.
Did Rowan know why he got married? Though, why she married him so quickly? That's the first. But like, why isn't he mad? But he is mad. But he's gonna find her first.
So his like thing at the end was like he didn't know what part he would play in her plan for Lysandra being Aelin. So he didn't know about like her.
So the only person that knew the full plan was Lysandra.
Lysandra and Aelin.
Yeah, and that's when he's so mean to her. Like, I get why he's mad, but he took it too far.
I agree.
He threw her out and just yelled.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
But she was doing what her queen asked of her. So I don't know. I don't understand why he was so
upset
about it.
I feel like they're going to get over it. They love each other. They'll get over it.
Aedion
is mad.
Is heading north with the army
to get
with
the Bane.
Ansel, to get the Bane, to get everybody
together.
Up.
So and at this point, everybody's getting everybody to one spot.
And then Rowan, Lorcan, Gabriel, and I believe Lysandra are hunting for Aelin.
Where's the lead going?
A lead is with
Manon.
I think she goes with the.
Because she's mad at Lorcan now, so she doesn't want nothing to do with him.
I believe they separate. So I think, if I can remember correctly, Jesus Christ, we'll get corrected in the comments if anybody sees this and comments on the video. So
you have it written right here. Gabriel, Lorcan, and Lead will join Rowan. They think Fenris will help protect Aelin and drop clues about the whereabouts. Aedion will stay with Lysandra, Aelin, and they will meet. Everybody was going to meet in the end in Terrasen.
Yes.
So
this is why I take notes.
So a lot of this, it's a lot of Kingdom of Ash, the very beginning, like everybody like getting their shit together before the battle. You don't know. You do know, but you don't tell me. It's fine. Okay, so now Tower of Dawn.